Wilkerson.
Okay, stay right there. Who are all these people around you?
I'm at work.
Uh, so I want to just see you and we'll go from there, okay? The officer is here. He's ready to have the hearing. Do you still wish to proceed to the hearing, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to ask you, officer, and you, ma'am, both to raise your right hands. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. Officer?
I do.
Ms. Merkerson?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead, officer.
On March 18th of this year at approximately 9:03 a.m., I was on patrol in Brownstown Township, working in OHSP seatbelt detail. At that time, I observed Ms. Merkerson operating her motor vehicle wearing her seatbelt underneath her armpit, improper use of her seatbelt, and she was cited for the same.
Any questions of him?
All right. You say questions. Are you asking me, Your Honor?
Yeah, do you have any questions of him, of the officer?
No, my only question was, my concern was that I had on my seatbelt, and I told him me reaching for my beverage, by me being short, my seatbelt naturally wants to come here. And if it's over my shoulder, when I go to reach for my drink, it's in the way. So I thought it would be just a warning. I'm like, I got a good driving record. I did have my seatbelt on, but that was my only question.
But you can't wear it like that though, ma'am.
I don't wear it like that. I was just grabbing my beverage, and I literally had put my seatbelt under my arm. Like I said, I felt personally, this is me, I'm not saying that it's right, but I felt like that should have just been a warning, being that I did have my seatbelt on when there's
Laws.
but my defense is I was practicing the law. It's just that I did, as he said, okay, but it wasn't on properly. It was buckled. If I had had it holding it with my arm, but it really wasn't buckled, then I feel like that would have been okay, that's a violation. I didn't know that me putting it under my arm to reach for my beverage would cause me to get a ticket. I had no idea. So to me, I didn't see them give people warnings for lesser things. My seatbelt was buckled up. It just wasn't across my shoulder when he.
You're not wearing it properly, ma'am. That's not wearing it properly.
Your Honor, if I may, she did receive 2 verbal warnings, one for her plate or vehicle showing no insurance on it, and she received a warning for a tinted license plate cover.
My vehicle had insurance from the date that you pulled me over before then.
Wait. Let him finish.
Oh, okay, okay, no problem.
Wait.
So again, when I ran the plate during that traffic stop, it didn't show her vehicle was uninsured. I did not confirm or verify that because I wasn't taking the action on it. She was receiving a verbal warning for it anyway. But from what I could see in my system, it was showing that her vehicle was uninsured at the time, which she did receive a verbal warning for, in addition to the tinted license plate cover that she had.
Okay, now can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another vehicle that was registered under the same plate. So I guess in transference, the state probably didn't have it updated, but I definitely had insurance. He never asked for a copy. So to say that I got a verbal warning, he never asked for my insurance to see if I had it or not. So I don't know how, because I have proof of everything. I made sure of that. I don't drive a vehicle without having proof of insurance. I couldn't take that car off the lot without proof of insurance. The only thing he asked me was that car mine. And I said, yes, this car is mine. It's insured in my name, and I am the only owner. I never got a warning about anything with insurance because we never discussed my insurance, because that was never the issue. The only thing that officer said to me was that because I asked him when he pulled me over specifically, because I was praising God. I was in praise and worship listening to a Pacific song. And I asked him, I said, excuse me, can I ask you why I'm being pulled over? Because I thought I was following all proper protocol. I knew my car had been registered. I knew that I had just transferred it from another vehicle off the plate at the dealership. They said that I could use the same plate and everything was properly done. I had all that proof in my glove box. I had my.
Before we jump into today's hearings, buckle up, because this video has everything: entitlement, denial, courtroom gymnastics, and a masterclass in how talking too much can ruin your own case. What you're about to see are 2 completely different defendants who share one fatal flaw: the belief that their explanation somehow overrides the law. In the first hearing, a woman argues that wearing a seat belt incorrectly should be excused because, wait for it, other people break the law too. And she genuinely believes that logic should carry weight in court. Then, in the second case, we watch a defendant do the impossible. Turn a situation that should have ended with fines and non-reporting probation into 6 months of jail time, all by opening his mouth at the wrong moments. These aren't just traffic cases. They're psychological case studies. You'll see how entitlement clashes with authority, how judges manage people who won't stop talking, and why courts don't care how petty something feels if the statute is clear. Stick around, because the turning points in both cases happen fast, and if you blink, you'll miss the...
Now,
Okay, good. All right, so listen. That insurance, I don't even need to hear about. I don't need to hear about the tinted window. He didn't write those, but you're responsible of seatbelt violation. I'm sorry. I find you responsible $65. Can you pay that today?
no, I cannot.
When can you pay it?
I don't. I'm unsure.
Where do you work?
At a hair salon.
Well, you got to give me a date when you can pay this, ma'am.
Am I able to fight this further? Because I don't agree.
Yeah, you can pay.
Okay. Well, I would like to do that.
This is the moment where her entire defense collapses, and she doesn't even realize it yet. Instead of disputing the facts, she pivots to what courts call the everyone else does it argument. And that argument never works. Ever. The law doesn't operate on comparison. It operates on compliance. Whether 10 people broke the law before you is completely irrelevant to whether you broke it. What makes this worse is that, in trying to justify herself, she actually admits the violation on the record. Seat belt under the arm? That's not partial compliance. That's improper use, which is exactly what the citation is for. And notice something important here. The judge isn't emotional. He's not hostile. He's simply not buying what she's selling. Courts don't deal in feelings, fairness comparisons, or personal inconvenience. They deal in statutes. And once you admit the behavior fits the statute, the outcome becomes almost inevitable. This is where the audience should already know.
Anybody listening to this knew you weren't going to agree. Hang on.
All the people that I work with feel
Time
like it was
out.
petty.
Time
All the people
out.
that I work with feel like it was petty. And even
Young
the
lady,
court,
do
the
not
secretary at the court.
interrupt me. Do not interrupt me.
Am I free to speak or not?
No, you're not. I've already heard you. I heard everything you had to say. I'm not about to argue with you.
I'm not arguing with you, sir.
Look,
I'm an adult. I'm an adult just like you
asking
are.
a question, and I'm going to tell you the answer. You can appeal this decision. You have to post the bond. Is it 7 days or 14 days, Lisa? Remind me.
I believe it's 7.
May 1, you have to pay by, and you tell them, I want to appeal that decision. You pay your $65, and then they will set it in front of the other judge, and you can tell the other judge your story, and maybe she'll agree with you. I don't know what else I can tell you.
That's all I need to hear. You don't have to tell me anything else. You have a wonderful day.
I May 1. Good luck to you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Devon Michael Hoff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What is happening in this world? People think they can argue.
Where entitlement quietly enters the courtroom. The officer clarifies that she actually did receive multiple verbal warnings, which, legally speaking, already puts her in a better position than many drivers. But instead of recognizing that discretion was used in her favor, she reframes it as an insult. He never asked for proof, so it doesn't count. That's not how warnings work. Officers are allowed to warn without documenting, verifying, or escalating, especially when they choose not to cite. What's fascinating is how the defendant interprets leniency as evidence of wrongdoing by the officer, rather than grace extended to her. In that mindset, the belief that enforcement should match personal expectations is exactly what judges see dozens of times a day. The courtroom doesn't reward indignation. It rewards relevance. And every second spent arguing insurance, plates, or praise music is time wasted on the one issue that actually...
Me up on a payment plan so I can, because I have to be at work at 2:30. And
Well, I have to get the prosecutor on here. I'm not sure where she is. We are on the record in the 13th Judicial District, the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas. This comes on for first appearance this April 29th, 2025. Mr. Lockett is asked to be first on the docket to get back to, I think he said work. They're on the record in 2025 TR 84. Mr. Lockett, you're charged with 3 counts. In count 1, you're charged with speeding 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. This is a traffic infraction. It does not carry any jail time. But if you were to be convicted for speeding 85 in a 65, your fine would be $105. You'd also be assessed court costs of $108. In count 2, you're charged with driving with unlawful registration or expired tag. That is an unclassified misdemeanor. Maximum penalties include a fine up to $2,500 and a possible 30-day, 6-month jail sentence, although that's usually somewhere around a $50 fine with probation. In count 3, you're charged with driving without liability insurance or able to provide proof. That's a B misdemeanor. If convicted, you'd have to serve 6 months maximum, but again, probation is an option, so you wouldn't have to serve the time unless you violated probation. There's a mandatory minimum fine of $300 up to $1,000. Now, you said you wanted to resolve this today, or are you aware?
The officer, actually, the officer, I wasn't even, he was way in front of me before I even passed him. He was probably a mile, half a mile ahead in front of
They
me.
got
He
me
said I was
on
wrong.
this. I didn't get pulled over for no ticket.
All right, y'all need to be quiet if it's not your time. Mr. Lockett, while we're
He said,
interrupted, you need to show me your face. Can you please remove your hair from your face?
this guy
Yeah,
said that I was,
get you
he said that
identified.
I was going, he said that I was going 80.
You can hear the shift in the judge's tone. Not anger, not cruelty, but finality. Judges are patient, but they're not obligated to entertain irrelevant narratives forever. The moment he says the insurance doesn't matter, the case is functionally over. Everything after this is about procedure, not persuasion. And notice how interruption becomes the final straw. Courts run on order. Interrupting a judge isn't just rude. It signals that you don't recognize the authority of the process itself. That's why the judge shuts her down completely. At this stage, the outcome isn't changing. The only variable left is how cleanly this hearing ends. And unfortunately for her, it doesn't end cleanly at all.
Trial, and we can do that if you plead not guilty. We'll set this for trial at a later date, and you will have the time to challenge the state's officers that testify, and you can testify on your own behalf if you want to. You can't be compelled to, but if you want to. So are you wanting to plead not guilty and set these for trial?
Yeah, I'm pleading not guilty because I know I wasn't going 85. He was way in front of me. So how do you see I was going 85? Which you
We'll enter a plea of not guilty and set these for trial. On the B misdemeanor, do you want to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself?
I represent myself.
You don't want to
I
have,
I, I I'll admit to the no tags and no insurance, but I wasn't speeding. I wasn't going 85.
all right, Ms. Gillette, did you hear his comments just now? He will admit insurance and no tags. He just wants to contest the speeding. Does the state take any position on that?
Judge, if he wants to admit to the expired tag and the no insurance, I can dismiss the speeding and you can give me Miss Fine's court cost and information today.
Okay. All right, so they're willing to dismiss that speeding, Mr. Lockett, if you pursue that guilty plea to the insurance and tags. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, now before I get to your plea, I need to back up to the question about the attorney. Do you understand that you can hire an attorney? If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply for court appointed, or you can waive attorney and proceed to represent yourself today. Do you want to
Yeah, I
represent?
said I plead guilty to the said I would plead guilty to the
right?
no tax and insurance. I mean,
Okay, and sir, I'll be happy to entertain that in due time. But before I do, I have to find out if you understand your rights to an attorney and if you wish to proceed without an attorney. I just need to get that on the record if that's how you want to proceed. You want to proceed on your own behalf today?
on my own behalf, I don't need a attorney.
Okay. All right, well, I'll show that you're waiving your right to counsel on record, and I'll ask that be in the docket notes and the journal entry. Now, how do you plead to count 2 driving in Greenwood County on March 1st, 2025 without a tag, a valid tag?
I mean, it was a valid tag. It was just expired.
Got an expired tag, you plead guilty to that?
Yes. I mean, I would. I mean, it's proof I was, but I know for a fact that I wasn't going 85.
Well,
And the
85.
officer had an attitude and everything.
All right, well, they're dismissing the 85 upon plea to counts 2 and 3. And speaking of count 3, how do you plead to driving that day without proof of liability insurance?
Just plead me guilty. I gotta go. Just give me guilty. It don't matter. Just I pay. Just set me up with a fine.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you were in fact guilty of driving without tags and insurance on March 1st of 25?
I didn't have tags. I didn't have insurance, and my tags was expired. I was driving with expired tags.
All right, and no one's making you into this plea today? You're doing this freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
All right, and the officer's citation said you were driving on Highway 400 at milepost 339 in Butler County. Would you agree with that? Or I'm sorry, in Greenwood County. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And would you agree that this happened on March 1st of 2025?
I don't remember.
Okay, but that's what your evidence would show, Ms. Gillette.
Yes, Your Honor, March 1st.
All right, I accept your pleas, finding them freely and voluntarily, knowingly entered, finding you guilty of counts 2 and 3, dismissing count 1, speeding. So we'll proceed to your sentencing. Recommendations for sentencing, Ms. Gillette?
Your Honor, I would recommend on count 2, we'll dismiss count 1, recommend on count 2, the expired tag, no jail time, a fine of $75, which is the statutory fine, court cost of $108. On count 3, there's always like a required underlying. I would recommend 5 days underlying suspended for non-reporting probation, and he have the standard fine, and the court cost has already been mentioned. So that's what I would recommend.
So for the underlying, you're recommending 5 days?
Yeah, that's what the
To say about your sentence before I determine what it is. She told me what she's asking for. Would you like to ask for anything or recommend anything?
She said 5 days. What?
That's what she said. Do you have anything you want to say before I tell you what your
Yeah.
sentence is?
I didn't really hear what she said. I just heard her say 5 days. What is that?
All right, well, I'm going to proceed to tell you your sentence. She made recommendations, but I make the actual sentence. Mr. Lockett, on count 2, there is no jail time, but there is a fine of $75 that you must pay. On count, no, I said that. Did I say that wrong? No, that's right. And then count 3, the insurance charge, there is a minimum required fine of $300. You're ordered to pay that. I could go up to 6 months jail time on the insurance, but Ms. Gillette is asking for 5 days. I will order you to serve 5 days, but that will be suspended. You won't have to serve it as long as you successfully complete a 6-month non-reporting probation. You won't have to see a probation officer. You will just have to do a couple of things to be successful on probation. The first is to violate no laws during this 6 months. The second is to pay the total of $483. How much time do you need to pay that? I can give you a couple of months if that would help.
You just pay, I can pay 50 a month. I ain't gonna say what, I ain't gonna give you a specific time I can pay it. I'll just tell you 50 a month. That's what I can afford.
Let's just see if the court can accept 50 a month. Well, the only way I could do it at 50 is to put you on a year of probation.
It don't matter. I don't even care.
So your probation will be for 12 months. During this 12 months, you're to violate no law. You're to pay exactly $50 a month or more. Your first payment will be due May 29th, 2025. And then you'll owe another 50 on the 29th day of each month thereafter. I'm going to set this for a 90-day pay or appear to make sure you're actually paying. If you're not, we'll look at whether your probation should continue or not. Missy, can you give me a 90-day pay or appear?
I ain't never seen somebody get probation for expired tags ever. I ain't even from y'all state.
Misunderstood parts of the legal system, and the judge explains it plainly. Appeals aren't free do-overs. They're procedural safeguards, and they come with financial requirements specifically to prevent frivolous appeals. The irony HG isn't mocking her. He's stating a practical reality. Courts aren't emotional support systems. They're structured institutions.
Bro, that don't even make sense. All right, yeah, we can just go with that. Our rules
Are
are
you
crazy
trying
here,
to
bro.
talk
I'm just
yourself
being.
into worse penalties, Mr. Lockett? Are you trying to talk
I got it.
yourself into more than 5 days? No probation? I'm going, let's see. Missy, what do you have in a pay or appear?
August 1st at 11.
You must be back here by Zoom August 1st at 11, unless you've already paid the total.
I was saying if I pay all that, I don't gotta. I might just go ahead and pay it anyway.
Right. If you pay it all, you don't violate any laws between now and then, and you do the third condition of your probation, you won't have to come back and see me again. The third condition of your probation is that you go out and get your picture and prints taken, because I don't believe you've had that done yet, have you, Mr. Locke? They didn't arrest you on the side of the road?
No.
All right.
All right, gosh, bro, y'all gonna make me late, bro. Like I'm just trying to go ahead and get this over and just set me up on my paper.
Sir, listen to me. You're in a court of law and you're going to respect the judicial process.
Y'all repeated the same thing 100 times.
Well, a lot of people appreciate that because they want to make sure they understand what they know to do. I'm going to modify your sentence to 6 months. You're going to be granted a 12-month probation. It will be reporting to court services because I do not think I'm going to be able to trust you without supervision. At $60, all right, sir. 6 months,
Bro.
6-month sentence, 12 months probation. Probation denied. You need to surrender yourself to the court.
Surrender myself to the court just because you said you don't trust me.
48 hours, because I cannot imagine subjecting a probation officer to the way you are treating this court and acting towards the judicial process. You've insulted the state of Kansas. You've insulted their laws, their punishments. You've kept your face hidden. Get your hair out of your face.
And just the way my hair is, like that's the
It is
natural way it is.
face so you can be seen in court.
My goodness.
Yeah, my goodness. You come to Kansas, without insurance, without tags, speeding down the road, endangering Kansas citizens and citizens of other states and countries driving our roads. And then you come in here and you tell me that our penalties are ridiculous, that you've never
I'm trying.
seen.
All I've been asking you, I said I'm trying to get to work. Can I just get my stuff and so I
Where
can
do you
go?
work?
That's it.
Where do you work?
Why you want to know where I work for? They don't even come on, bro. Like y'all, that's weird, bro.
Did you hear me say
I'm
you're
really,
not
I
getting
got
probation? Did you hear me say you're not getting probation? I understand we're by Zoom. I get the impression you're in another state. You seem to think that you're above the law and you're not going to follow any of these silly Kansas rules as you see them. But
I said I
later,
said I could make a payment
sooner,
every month. I said I could make a payment every month. I said I was
uh,
trying to get to go to work.
you do not control this court. You think you do because you're appearing by Zoom and I don't have an officer there to put the cuffs on you. But sooner or later, you will get picked up. Sooner or later, you will be arrested and you will be brought to a Kansas court to serve 6 months in the Greenwood County Jail, because that's the order of the court.
Hold on, 6 months for what?
For driving without insurance and for driving without
Oh,
tax and for showing me that you're not amenable to probation.
6 months. 6 months for driving without tags. Man, I never heard that in my life.
Wherever you are, so we can.
I'm just saying, how could you say you gonna put me on probation and then once I say something to
All right,
obviously offend you,
explain
you say
yourself at
you
this
already,
time.
but you already
Hearing is adjourned.
you are
Mr. Letters.
hey you already told me that you already said that you said you're gonna get 6 months probation, all
You
this.
won't even listen to me when I tell you to stop talking so I can let the prosecutor have a word in. You're not a probation candidate. Mr. Lett, anything further?
No, I've got the notes, Your Honor.
All
Do you
right,
have a limit for him to surrender himself?
48 hours to surrender himself to his local sheriff or law enforcement. Court,
Surrender.
and
Oh, yeah.
I am not, I'm just ordering that he pay. I'm not giving him that payment plan that I told him because probation's off the table. All right, well, Mr. Lockett, you can go to surrender yourself to the sheriff.
And when the judge says, anybody listening knew you weren't going to agree, that's not sarcasm. That's experience talking. He's seen this play out hundreds of times. The case isn't about the seatbelt anymore. It's about refusal to accept responsibility. Just when you think you've seen peak courtroom self-sabotage, we move on to case number 2. Different defendant, different charges, same fundamental mistake. This man walks in wanting to plead guilty, set up